It's about creating a rhythm. We talk about rhythms all the time of being with your people, of if we think about a heartbeat pumping blood, right? It is that constant blood flow to every part of the organization by having leaders at the highest levels go connect. That is not accomplished with an open door policy. Hey everybody, welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts, quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I'm the founder of Forward Partners. I am joined as always by my partner in podcasting, Emily Grace Deal. Emily, what are we talking about today?
So something you often say is open door policies are useless.
Open door policies are useless.
And yet most people see them as a good thing.
Right.
It's a little bit of a controversial opinion.
Sure.
So talk to us about your thinking.
So I do hear about open door policies being a good thing a lot because the idea is that they're going to allow information to flow up into that office, right? They're going to allow information to suddenly get past these blockades.
There's a clear path.
And into the leader's office. It almost never works. They're genuinely almost always useless because we think that's how they're supposed to work. The true benefit of an open door policy, I believe, is that it allows the leader to get out of the office. It keeps them from being stuck behind a door in the office all the time where they are not actually aware of reality. They are not actually connected to the front lines. They don't know what everyone's truly dealing with in all the detail they need to. And so the problem that we run into is when we think of it just as information will flow in, well, then you got the leader sitting back going, I am waiting on information. And when it doesn't show up, they assume everything's fine.
Right.
Everything's great.
So leaders need to see it more, open door policies more as a right way to get out, a reminder to leave your office instead of the opportunity for everyone to come to you.
Yes, it is a reminder, get out of your office. And we have several episodes on this. We talk about this idea all the time that
Leadership presence,
your presence as a leader is the lifeblood of the organization. It is the blood flow. And so when you go to the different parts of your organization, that is blood flowing to that part of the organization. And when that doesn't happen, that part starts to atrophy.
Yeah.
If you're on the front line and you're dealing with some real challenges, there's an assumption that the people at the top know. And the people at the top are sitting there going, well, nobody's coming up here to tell us things are a problem, so there are no problems, right? And so then the people on the front line, if you're dealing with that, you start to become really cynical. You start to become irritated. You start to think, well, they don't care about me clearly because they know about this and they're not acting on it. And then you go to the top and they go, what are you talking about with this problem?
Right. I think it's just kind of like seeing it as productive, right? The same way we have to see rest as productive.
Yeah.
Seeing going to your people and taking the time to do that is a productive thing because they will be more productive if they have that encouragement from you. They have that communication from you, and they don't have to get the courage to come up to you and explain the problems.
So I'm glad you said courage because I think the assumption is generally that a closed door is the problem. The closed door is not the problem. Usually it's fear. It's things like fear and ego, that pride maybe, that stop us from going up and letting the leader know there's a problem.
I think a lot of it is the importance. If you don't think your thing is important enough, then you're not going to take it because it's a big step to go into the office and explain this thing and then it's seeming maybe insignificant or whatever that may be.
Yeah. That can be part of it, is we're unsure about what to take up because there's not a clear system for it. Sometimes we're afraid of what the response is going to be.
Yeah.
Oftentimes what I find is pride is involved. And it is, I'm amazed how many mid-level leaders I've talked to and said, what is your definition of success? And they have said, problems hit me and they never go up above me. That mid-level leader is not equipped to solve most of the problems. And so rather than solving them, they're just keeping them kind of tamped down and hoping that nobody notices, right?
Right. Again, that's I take care of it.
Absolutely. And the people on the front line feel that. They are feeling the challenges and they're wrestling through this. And so really the closed door is not actually the problem. It's usually fear. It's usually we're afraid or we're too full of pride to say that we need help from above. And really on the other side of it, you got leaders who just don't go to their people. I've got the open door policy. I've checked the box, right? It is not about checking a box. It's about creating a rhythm. We talk about rhythms all the time of being with your people, of if we think about a heartbeat pumping blood, right? It is that constant blood flow to every part of the organization by having leaders at the highest levels go connect. That is not accomplished with an open door policy. It is not about information flowing up. It's about us going out and not being trapped. And
that makes sense.
So if we think about it the right way, it's no longer a crutch. Now it's a benefit. If we think about it the wrong way, it becomes a crutch. Leaders, if you have an open door policy, I'm not saying don't have one. I'm saying look at it a little differently. Do not assume that problems are naturally going to walk through your door just because you have an open door policy. Create a rhythm of connection, of going out of your office, of connecting with people on the front line. I promise you, they genuinely want to see you, and you genuinely need to hear what they have to say. And do not rely on an open door policy to facilitate that communication. That is not a box that you want to check. You want to create this rhythm, and you will start to see massive, massive benefit from this. All right, Emily, thank you for bringing that. If people want to send us questions, if they want to tell me I'm wrong about open door policies, if
defend open door
want
policies,
to send us anything, if you want to die on the open door policy hill, feel free. If they want to send anything to us as far as feedback or questions or concerns or things we can help with, where do they send that to?
lab@forwardpartners.net.
lab@forwardpartners.net. If they want to find all the content we put out around leadership and growth and communication and thriving teams, where do they find that?
At Forward Partner.
At Forward Partner on all the major socials. Thank you for this conversation, Emily. John, thank you for producing. Thank you, Wilco Workspaces, for this phenomenal partnership on this podcast. And thank you for watching and sharing. It would mean the world to us if you would share this with the people around you, the fellow leaders who need to hear that they are not alone in their leadership. We are all on this journey together. We will see you next time right here in the Leader Lab for Leadership Shorts.